Welcome to Duggar News 24, your daily source for the latest updates, headlines, and deep dives into the world of the Duggars. Subscribe and stay informed 24/7. Counting on alum Amy Duggar King is back with alarming news about her husband Dylan. He's been going through some controversies over the past few months. He's facing a lawsuit for his failure to pay for his business's rent. But at the same time, Dylan is also dealing with health issues, which seem to be getting worse. Keep reading to see Amy's shocking update about her husband's condition. Earlier this year, Dylan was sued for his inability to pay for the rent of his restaurant in Springdale, Arkansas. The Counting on alum was able to pay the first half of his unpaid rent, but he didn't show any desire to pay for the second half and explained that the judgment fee was too much. He and his legal team wanted the court to reconsider its ruling after being asked to pay a $236,000 penalty. Amy Duggar King recently took to IG to share shocking news about her husband's condition. According to the Counting on alum, Dylan was diagnosed with celiac disease. It is a long-term autoimmune disorder affecting a patient's small intestine. A lot of food should be avoided by a person with such a disease. Amy has been a very supportive wife, helping Dylan adjust to his new diet. However, Amy revealed that they're still figuring things out due to Dylan's herniated diaphragm and the displacement of his multiple organs. She continued, "There's still a lot of unknowns at this time. We appreciate all the support and prayers. Y'all are just so cute. Looking great. Can tell y'all are changing your ways. Hopefully y'all get things figured out soon. I'm sure it's uncomfortable. Glad you got some answers and he's feeling better. Wishing him all the best. I have celiac. It's so overwhelming at first, but I promise it gets easier. Praying for continued healing and getting more answers as you both go forward in this journey together." Despite his condition, some Counting on fans previously called out Dylan for seemingly faking his critically ill condition. This comes after Amy shared a clip of them drinking alcohol, with Dylan smoking near their son. In addition to that, Dylan and Amy Duggar King have also been sharing their lavish lifestyle, frequently traveling and going shopping, all while Dylan is facing a lawsuit for unpaid rent. Jesus, this family is such trash, and no one would even know or guess if Amy weren't such an attention seeker. Amy would have fit in better on the cast of Teen Mom rather than a fundy show. Where does this from? She knowingly posted this somewhere. How high is she lol? He sure looks critically ill lol. I'm all for smoking, but I never do it around my kid, and isn't this against her biblical beliefs in some way? Ick, just feels hypocritical. Amy Duggar King never imagined her life would unfold like this, not on a public stage, not with so many opinions weighing in from strangers, and certainly not while watching the person she loves most grapple with a life-altering illness. Known to many as the niece of Jim Bob Duggar and cousin to the Duggar children of Counting on, Amy always danced to her own beat. Branded the rebel Duggar, she had no interest in the strict, patriarchal lifestyle her famous relatives followed. But even rebellious hearts don't plan for the upheaval that illness and financial turmoil bring. It all began with a subtle shift: tiredness, bloating, stomach pains. Dylan King, Amy's husband, had always been energetic and sociable, the kind of man who could light up a room. The couple had been married since 2015, their union a blend of affection, humor, and resilience. But in the fall of the previous year, Dylan began to change. He started skipping meals, complaining of fatigue and persistent stomach discomfort. At first, Amy thought it was just stress from running his restaurant in Springdale, Arkansas, but things quickly escalated. In January, the family was hit with a wave of unwelcome news. Dylan was being sued by the building's management for failure to pay rent for his restaurant space. The lawsuit demanded $236,000, citing several months of unpaid rent and breach of contract. The initial payment was made after much negotiation, but Dylan's legal team found the remainder unmanageable. They argued that the penalty was too steep and requested the court to reconsider its judgment. But the storm had only begun to brew. At the same time as the legal proceedings, Dylan's health took a dramatic downturn. More than just tiredness, he was now experiencing severe pain, digestive problems, and alarming weight loss. After several hospital visits and numerous tests, doctors delivered the diagnosis: celiac disease. "I had never even heard of it like this before," Emmy shared in a somber Instagram update. I mean, I thought gluten intolerance was a minor thing, something you just deal with, but it's so much more than that. Celiac disease is a chronic autoimmune disorder triggered by gluten, a protein found in wheat, rye, and barley. When someone with celiac consumes gluten, it damages the small intestine, often leading to malabsorption, malnutrition, and long-term complications if left untreated. For Dylan, the condition was made worse by an even rarer medical complication, a herniated diaphragm that had caused the displacement of several internal organs. There's still a lot of unknowns, Emmy wrote. His organs aren't where they're supposed to be, and that's affecting everything else. We appreciate all the support and prayers more than you know. Emmy threw herself into caring for Dylan. Their days became a flurry of specialist appointments, gluten-free grocery trips, and late-night research into autoimmune disorders. She learned to read every label, memorize every forbidden ingredient, and recreate their favorite meals from scratch. For a couple who once indulged in spontaneous road trips and impulsive sushi nights, their world was now filled with caution and controlled routines. "I've cried in the grocery aisle," Emmy admitted in one of her posts. "I've had meltdowns in the car after a long day, but I won't stop fighting for my husband." One video Emmy shared showed the couple having a glass of wine during a quiet evening on their porch. Another showed Dylan stepping outside with a cigarette, something Amy later explained was an old habit he was trying to quit, a mental crutch during a stressful time. Unfortunately, social media users were quick to pounce. "If he's so critically ill, why is he drinking and smoking?" One comment read, "Seems like he's just using a health scare for sympathy." Others went further, attacking Amy's lifestyle and her decision to share so much online. "Amy would have fit better in Teen Mom than on a Christian show," one user wrote on Reddit. "She's always seeking attention." Emmy saw the comments. She didn't reply to most, but the few she addressed revealed her frustration. "We're not perfect," she posted in response. "We're navigating new diagnoses, financial pressure, and parenting in the public eye. If you think that's easy, I invite you to walk in our shoes." Despite the criticism, many followers rallied around her with messages of encouragement. "I have celiac too," one woman wrote. "It's overwhelming at first, but it gets easier. Praying for y'all." "Don't listen to the haters," another chimed in. "Healing takes time, and people only see what they want to see." Behind closed doors, the King family continued their slow climb through chaos. Dylan's condition required not only dietary changes but lifestyle adjustments that taxed the couple's emotional bandwidth. Their son, now old enough to notice his father's absences and low energy, would often crawl into bed beside him just to be close. "It breaks my heart," Emmy said through tears in a live stream. "We tell him Daddy's tummy is sick, and he understands more than we think. He kisses Dylan's belly sometimes and says, 'Feel better, Daddy.' Kids are amazing." Even amid the darkness, Amy remained determined to find light. She began sharing gluten-free recipes, tips on navigating a medical crisis, and honest updates about their emotional state. Her transparency resonated with many, especially those dealing with similar invisible illnesses. Meanwhile, Dylan began to heal, slowly. With medical guidance, his intestines began to recover, his energy returned in waves, his diet became second nature, and yet legal troubles continued to loom. The rent lawsuit dragged on, placing them under financial and emotional strain. "We're looking at all our options," Emmy explained. "But it's tough. This isn't what we planned for." The couple downsized their spending, paused most travel, and focused on their health and legal matters. The same social media platforms that once hosted glamorous vacation photos now held reflections on faith, grit, and survival. "I've learned more about love in these last 6 months than in 6 years of marriage," Emmy shared. "It's easy to love when things are good, but when your partner is sick and scared, when money is tight and strangers are judging, that's when love becomes real." Through the trials, their marriage grew stronger. Arguments gave way to late-night talks, frustration melted into understanding. They relearned how to hold each other close, even when it felt like the world was falling apart. Emmy became a quiet advocate for those battling autoimmune diseases. She partnered with local health initiatives and hosted Q&A sessions about gluten-free living. Some followers came for the drama but stayed for the humanity. She made it clear that while she once wore the rebel Duggar badge with pride, she now embraced a new role, that of a caretaker, a fighter, and above all, a wife holding her family together. Toward the end of spring, Dylan had a breakthrough. A new specialist confirmed that while his herniated diaphragm would always need monitoring, his organ displacement could be managed without surgery for now. The couple exhaled. For the first time in months, they saw a path forward. "I won't say we're out of the woods," Emmy said in an update, standing beside Dylan, "but we're finding the trail. And we're walking it together." Critics still lurked. The lawsuit had yet to be resolved. Online speculation would never truly disappear, but Amy and Dylan were no longer consumed by the noise. They had faced illness, public scrutiny, and the weight of financial pressure, and they had not broken. In a world that often rewards pretense and perfection, Amy Duggar King chose truth, and in that truth, raw, messy, and at times unbearable, she found her strength.